everyone, a very warm welcome to another exciting episode of Psychology Talks. And today I'm so excited to have our esteemed guest. She is one of my favorite LinkedIn influencer, and she is an inspiration to thousands of people. She has done a tremendous work over the last few years on LinkedIn, and throughout her life, she has her own struggles which she has achieved greatness in her life, in personal life, and in her career. So today's guest is Rachel Mitchell. She is the living example of changing her life through the power of belief. In her early 20s, she went through a major trauma. She had almost 90% of her legs burned, and all of the doctor had told her that her legs would never completely heal. But she refused to give up. With her strong will and power of belief, her legs 100% was healed within just 2 years. Now she is a successful executive producer of TV shows and a business brand consultant for executive and innovative companies around the globe. In 2020, Rachel became an influencer on social media, creating a huge impact in the world, and she's changing thousands of lives for the betterment. So let's welcome Rachel Mitchell. She is an amazing person, a humble human being. Hello, Rachel. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this. I believe that how we think and respond to uncertainty is important. And response can be strategic and detailed for each individual, but that is when knowledge and wisdom can be taken and shared from others. And I truly believe that helps is to become resourceful and or be guided by someone resourceful. So I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you today.
Thank you
a bit
so
about
much. Yeah, thank you so
a bit
much.
about my background.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Canada, and I'm now a U.S. citizen, and I live in the U.S. But I became an executive producer of television series over 7 years ago. I believe that my upbringing in Canada opened to learn a lot about beliefs, because some of my best friends growing up in school, they came from different belief systems and backgrounds. My best friends were from Lebanon, Poland, and all around the world, immigrants, and Canada. And being around their families and also learning from my family and our diversion, I think, has also helped with that foundation of belief. But since I was a child, I was obsessed with biographies, and specifically watching biography channel and History Channel, which talked a lot about the transformation of people's lives, of coming, remote places and becoming titans of industry and heads of industry. So it was only fitting that later on in my career that I ended up producing shows that were about the transformation of people, their businesses and their careers and their life streams and aspirations. So these types of programs that I've produced over the years, they have been focused on building, manufacturing, home shows, business shows, earth, sustainability, and the majority of programs and content have been highlighting businesses. But since 2020, my experience took an unexpected turn. Sorry, I just got an unexpected turn in 2020. While I was researching health and wellness programs, I discovered a network of people who were in need of encouragement and guidance on LinkedIn. And I started to get multiple requests weekly asking for guidance and advice in business, sales, sponsorship, and branding. So I started privately consulting individuals and companies that hired me to help with their business development. And that has resulted in record-breaking growth. So today, I continue to offer private consultation to help clients improve their lives. Careers, businesses, and personal lives have improved by utilizing the power of belief as a foundation. And the strategic implementation of connecting and improving results is really the foundation of that all. But I'm happy to share with you the traumatic events that happened to me that really led to me understanding the importance of that as well.
Yeah, it's your journey is quite inspiring, and especially what you're doing is on LinkedIn, on social media, helping others. I mean, it's extremely important that the way you're transforming the lives of the people around you, it's amazing. So let's move on to the discussion and tell us about your life, the way you have actually transformed your life, because it is completely unbelievable when you actually shared with me before, like having on this call. I was like amazed at how can a person actually refuse to accept what the other experts are saying, but with your strong will, with your power of belief, you actually made it happen. And this is like the your message. And world needs to know your message, that you know how you did it, because there are lots of people are going through a lot of traumatic events. They're suffering because maybe some people are not believing in them. There's some people are saying that it's not possible, but if you can do it, and so you know they can get this motivation that yes, they can change their lives too. So tell us about your story, that what happened to you, especially when you shared with me that something happened to your legs. Yeah. So what happened
Yes,
to that, and why doctors say that it cannot be healed?
yes. Well, around it was my early 20s. I was actually 21 years old, and 50% of my legs were burnt. And around those times, even prior to the burning that took place, I was reading a lot of books about the power of intention and power versus force. And I also was reading a lot about near-death experiences and people who died and came back to life. So I was intrigued by the possibilities that went beyond the physical probabilities. And when I was with a friend of mine, when I was 21, she basically asked me to go along with her to join her at a med spa. She convinced me to get laser hair removal. And that is where the technician burnt my legs. I was in a lot of pain, but I sat through the burning of my legs, and it got worse the next day. And I ended up looking like a burn victim that was in like an extreme fire. And it was my entire legs, 90%. So they covered it all, and almost entirely all of it burnt. So I asked my doctor if I would ever be completely healed and free of scarring. And after getting second and third opinions from doctors, I decided that I needed to defy the odds, because they all shared that they basically thought that it was never going to completely heal, that they've never seen anything like this. Someone who's been burnt to that extreme evenly throughout the entire area, the legs, from top to bottom, all the way down. So they said a large scar is definitely probable, and that they had no idea how long it would take for my skin to even form back and to even form a scar. So as a young lady, I was very much discouraged, disappointed, and I blamed myself for making the superficial choice of even getting that laser hair removal that day. I thought I would. So I definitely felt defeated and hopeless at that moment. But when I went home from visiting the last doctor, apply everything that I've been reading about. I need to defy the odds by focusing on the results that I want. And I started by removing the opinions of others, and I hid my legs from the world at that time, covered up entirely in order to keep others' opinions out. So, and I turned to faith because I started to pray. I meditated on healing and performed a type of hypnosis on myself when I fell asleep while I was meditating.
Wow.
And I woke up and I knew that I was out for a long time because there I had a candle that was about that big, and the candle was almost gone when I woke up.
Okay.
Probably another fire hazard, ironically, but I'm so thankful because I stood strong with my belief that anything was possible. And 2 years after being burnt, having my legs burnt, miraculously, I was completely healed. Throughout the 2 years, there were gradual transformations that were taking place with color and texture, and eventually it came back to my regular color. And I also became fascinated by the human body at that time because it was like magic taking place in a way. At one point, I was like, no joke, I was like a giraffe almost, like there were spots on me. And then it's like God was filling in the pigment with, and then it just started to feel incredible. And it's very much self-conscious about the whole healing process and keeping it secret. I didn't document all of the stages. I wish I did now. I wish I have a picture of when it was extreme and then when I'm healed now, but I don't have the stages, but I got to experience the stages and it was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's great. Especially like, the way you're just describing the meditation part, and it is basically, and I'm fascinated about this, that when you shared your experience, that you were meditating and you slept. You know what, like I was recently I was reading that how one can actually enhance the power of subconscious mind, and the way they're problem solving is, when Einstein used to stuck at some point, and what he used to do is he used to keep thinking about the problem, and then he tries to sleep when he was having this problem, and then he keeps something in his hand, so as soon as he goes in the deep sleep, and then like if something like key or something fell on falls on the floor or makes sound, and he wakes up, and that is the more time when he gets his problem solved, or he gets the ideas or to the problems that is solved. So this is one way actually to enhance the productivity, or to get the solution from the universe, as you're saying that when we are trying to achieve something, we actually, through our burning desires, we send the signal to the universe, and that is exactly, you are the living example of this. Like, you wanted your legs to be healed completely, when the doctors are saying that it's not possible, but you were sending the signal to the universe with your desire, and then you've seen it's happening, like step by step, like as you're seeing, the God is actually fixing up, like removing all the scars, and like I've seen your pictures even today, like it's completely now flawless. It's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I truly believe that the foundation of understanding that anything is possible has come from I call them the great ones that I've read and that I've studied throughout the years. And one of them is absolutely Albert Einstein. I was fascinated with his biography. He truly was behind the scenes, beyond the science. And I did reference him and quote him and post a lot about him when I started posting online, because he is definitely someone who I look to for guidance as an example, because I realized that with his background, he did defy the odds to be known and be able to do and share what he's been able to share. So a lot of people ask me, who do I look up to, or do I have a guru or anything? And the truth is, it's been history. It's been the great ones that have come before. And I realize that there's a formula here that plays out that can transform anything. Like you said, like today, there is no evidence that I was burnt at all on my legs. They entirely transformed and healed. And it's amazing to see that people could have incredible transformations in their lives, in their businesses, in their careers, in their family life, and in their love life, and everything in the same way. It's like a removal of what is not working, and a filling in, just like my spots were being filled in with the right consistency. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's actually it's fascinating. You know what I've seen, as like you mentioned that you are an avid reader of biographies and something. It's the I also love to read biographies, and when you actually learn the lesson from the real people, it's more you can make a connection that yes, if they can do it, that's so can we. And that is exactly the purpose of this show and inviting you also, because you are an inspiration. Because when you share your stories, it gives a reason for others to feel the same and to do the same, and it makes them feel that they're not alone in the situation. Like as I mentioned in the earlier in the beginning, that people are going through a lot of suffering and they feel that they're all alone. It seems that they are the ones only in the situation, and they think that there is the end of the life and it cannot happen. But like the way you have shown the world, that even if people say that it's the end of the world, it is not the end of the world. If you have the belief in yourself, and if you have the power of imagination, if you have the power to go an extra mile, you can actually do it. And that's what you have shown. And one thing also I want to hear, just add to what you did, is it's like, people think that this is all theoretical, this is all in the books, but it is not. You have actually done it, you've proven it. So one thing I want to ask you, that basically what was one thing that actually keeps on telling you that you can do it? Because a lot of people give up on that. But what exactly in this something that keeps you going, that kept you going on against all odds?
I'd be happy to share that with you, because what you just said right there, it is entirely the foundation of what I truly believe, which is that anyone can manifest their desired results with the power of belief. And this is the good news.
Yeah.
You are not alone.
Yes.
Absolutely not. And when you're in your darkest hour, your largest disappointment, like I did with what transpired with my legs, I realized that even when I isolated from others' opinions, I was not alone. I looked to others who were able to achieve their goals, even if they were dramatically different goals. So what Einstein was able to do, I was not going to create, a great discovery in science, but I was going to discover the possibility of healing within my own body. I decided that if he could do something so great, I could do something that is smaller that is also great.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that fear is what holds a lot of people back. That when fear and negative energy of others are removed from the equation, interesting things can transpire at that point. It's like it clears the path, it clears the way. And that is not just with our physical health and well-being, but also with our careers and our lives and our families. We can actually mirror others who have defied odds as well, and follow their lead, because the same principles that were applied for successful branding, sponsorships, and other things that I've been a part of, and helping clients develop their companies. That is actually the exact same attitude and energy and consistency that I had for my own situation that I wanted to transform. So I was told many times that I could not produce the level of business programs that I produce because I'm not the right demographic. I didn't look the part. I was too young, and at one point for another series, I was too old. You know, I was a female, I was not a male, and there was a lot of different conversations that I had, but I'd always laugh to myself because inside I think, oh, but they don't realize that that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
That
that's very
when
true.
you have such great intention behind what you do, that you can defy the odds and even go way past. So, and it's not something that I like to talk about a lot because I'm very private myself, and I don't like to talk a lot about accomplishments that I've had. So it feels so good now to have a network of people where they're also accomplishing great things, because then I feel that I can share more, not just one person who looks a certain way. I have a network of people that look like the United Nations, and they are all defying odds all over the place. And just by realizing you're not alone
Yeah.
and opening yourself to others, now we have each other,
Yes.
so we can reach different people that are entirely different demographics, races, backgrounds, and everyone wins even more. Growth
Yeah.
happens more rapidly and so forth. So I'd say that opening yourself up to the possibilities, closing the door to naysayers or even the doubt within yourself, is definitely step. It will transform everything from your body to your entire life, all
Yeah.
of your relationships, not just personal, in business, everything. It actually permeates throughout your whole life. So that's how important talks like this that you have, and the work that you do, and the book that you wrote, and everything that you have going on. It's so important because you're bringing it all together for people to consume and understand, all in one place. So I commend you with that. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. And it's, what I've seen is that the people will always create doubt because their understanding, they have their own belief. And sometimes we have much bigger dream. And the way you just mentioned, I almost had the same struggles, when I wanted to write the book. I was too young. And when I was telling people that I want to write a book, people used to laugh. And like being from the like a female and from the Middle East, I wasn't even good at English because it's not my native language. And I like said I wanted to write something in English and a book and something about completely different concept. They used to laugh at me. They used to say like, you cannot do it anything. You should stop thinking about. People used to say that I need to focus more on the family and like train my kids and serve family and husband and everything. It's like, okay, these are the things that, okay, my people do have their priorities, but I have my dreams too. People should not put other people's in boxes or something. As you mentioned that, now we are such a beautiful community with the different uh, people from the different backgrounds, from different religions, ethnicity, culture, and they're all beautiful because we don't put them in the boxes and we deal with them at the human level. So this is such a beautiful feeling, and that also you know tells other people that we are together. They are not alone. As you mentioned, that it's amazing, whatever like we are doing, whatever you are doing, it's it's giving them permission to feel what they're feeling. It's okay to fail. It's okay to have obstacles in life. Other people are also having the same situation. But when we share our stories, when we share our learnings, they also get the encouragement, the motivation to try something that we have done and to feel and to be someone that they want to be, because they know that there is a reward if they will go an extra mile, or if they will go something more or put more efforts just to achieve their dreams. So this is itself is rewarding.
Yes. And there's so much more good news just by
Yeah.
removing what is not helping you towards your goal.
Yeah,
You're halfway there.
yeah.
And I think a lot of people, they don't take the time to realize what's not helping and
Yeah.
needs to be removed. Just this morning, actually, in a post of mine, I saw there are two people messaging back and forth within the comments. One said that, you know, no one helps people in IT. People in IT don't get any help anyways. And I could see that's his job.
Yeah.
And I realized this man does not realize that he has held himself back from so much possibility, because literally just last week, a person like myself who is not in IT helped someone who was in IT position.
Yeah. Wow.
But because he thought nobody out there cares anyways, this is not true, or this doesn't help anybody, to he automatically shut that door of possibility because he doesn't believe that anybody would even care.
Yeah.
So once you realize that there's a lot of people out there that don't care, then that's okay.
Absolutely.
You can find the people who do care,
Yeah.
or who are aligned, or who do understand the
Yeah.
value of what you do. So I love the book that you wrote. I think it's powerful.
Thank
And
you
I
so
think it
much.
does need to come from someone who is a leader, like a worldly leader. And that's how I see you. And a lot of people to this day, they do not understand, or they can't even comprehend that I produced a TV show built in America when I was still Canadian. And I don't look like who the other people who produce shows about America and things being built here.
Yeah.
Or that I was producing shows about manufacturing, or, and I'm not, a big guy who's been in manufacturing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. There's more power with what you're creating behind the scenes. And when you see something as a value and of need for others, amazing things will happen. So I truly believe that it is as simple as removing what is not helping, and then aligning with really the examples that will carry you through the darkest times. And I did not realize that by reading those books and being fascinated by Einstein and all these other historical figures, that they really run the range.
Yeah.
Because of Biography Channel, I really was as fascinated with, Henry Ford as Marilyn Monroe,
Yeah.
as people as Sidney Poitier, as, leaders halfway across the world of countries that I never even heard of. And I believe that by seeing such individual stories of people who have believed in possibilities that others doubted, it did have a subconscious effect on me that allowed me to snap out of my depressed moment when I thought my legs were it was over and it was the end of my life as I knew it. And it's amazing how your whole life can transform. And the next thing you know, like yourself,
Yeah, that's great.
you're helping others do the same.
Absolutely. Just like it's I know this, you have so much to share. and we will share in the next episode as well. But I think the time is actually, we are running out, and it's almost, we're reaching to the end of the show. But I would also ask that a lot of people actually read all these books, but they don't develop such belief. So how do you think that, how they can develop such a strong belief that they can do it, or even when the world is against it? So what is the trick to have such a strong belief in themselves that no matter what, no matter who will say that they cannot do it, but their inner voice, they should listen to the inner voice that yes, they can do it, or how they can transform such belief to that level where where nothing can actually shake their belief. So what is the secret?
I truly believe that you have to get very, very close to it. And what's interesting is some people, they, join groups, or they watch certain things that, programming or content online, but they're still detached from it.
Yeah.
And the only way to get really close to it is to just consume your life with it, which a lot of people don't have 24 hours to do. I don't expect anyone to be able to consume the amount of biographies that I did as a child in a month. It wouldn't even be possible, probably. So how do you get close to it? I say get close to people who are living examples. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And what's interesting that I found is they don't have to be in your industry, in your country, in your demographic. People are shocked that, a gentleman who's in logistics and, in that type of business could have, garnered so much success and achievement after connecting with myself, who on paper looked like I just produce TV shows about innovation and stuff, but I don't know about the details of the business and in logistics.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because with creative thinking, when two minds come together, it's incredible what could happen. So get as close to it as possible. Befriend people like this. Hire people to consult you. Even I do that. I let people hire me to consult them, and it helps so much to have a network of people who are close to you, because then you feel that it's possible for you because you're close to it, actually, whether you're speaking with them, messaging them, talking with them, interacting, having accountability. So I believe what's missing the mark is some people believe that they can just look at it, or they can even be a part of programs that just look at it over and over again. That's fine, but getting close to it, it speeds it up.
Yeah, what a brilliant advice. I mean, I'm really, really impressed the way you actually explained it, because I ask this question to a lot of people and they explain it in a very different way, but you just hit the nail on, it's spot on that, this is how, the only thing I believe is, yes, you need to connect with yourself. That's it. If you are not connected with yourself, you would never be able to actually find out what you want and why you want. And that why actually gives you the motivation, the purpose, to go for it. Otherwise, we will be like, just moving here and there, finding out what's there for it. Somebody will say that don't do this, and we'll just listen to it because we don't know what our true self like. So this is, I think, the amazing, awesome advice that you've given, and I'm sure today our audience must have learned a lot from you, because I, to be honest, I always, whenever I talk to you, even in past, and whenever I see your post, I always learn a lot from you, and I get the inspiration, to continue. Sometimes, as like showing up every day on LinkedIn or on social media is not easy. You need a push, and when I see you post, it gives me sometimes the spark to, okay, it's okay. I may not have the motivation for doing this, but I think I should post it because maybe somebody needs to hear this. maybe somebody will get the inspiration from me. So thank you for all providing all the inspiration to me, even to keep going on. So thank you so much for today's episode, today's discussion. It was so enlightening and enriching, and we'll definitely continue our discussion in the next episode. So, and we will have more time to actually indulge on this topic, because this is, of course, one of my favorite topic as well, because belief is something that shapes the entire personality or shapes the entire destiny, I would say. Because today's our decisions, every decision is based on whatever we believe we can do or we cannot do. So this is an interesting topic, and I'm definitely looking forward to our next session.
Thank you. Me too.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.